All right, hello, welcome back for the New York AM session stream. After a little bit of power outrage during the London Open, it took a little bit too long to reconnect and I lost the stream, but June 10th, 2026, New York AM session, Wednesday, trading after CPI already, PPI tomorrow. And yeah, fun fact, I was watching the price a couple minutes before, and the buy side liquidity relative equal highs from the London open session that I was paying attention to, and the buy side overall with this gap that I was paying attention to, got basically traded into very nicely off of the pre-market first presentation. Beautiful displacement lower at 7:03, first in efficiency after 7 a.m. used here bearishly, price went above it. After 9:30, upper half respected and beautiful draw up into the buy side liquidity and above. Quite frankly, I was hoping, or I was thinking that this will still be active after 10 a.m. because then I would have an easy draw to use for the silver bullet. Right now, it's not as simple, I suppose. Therefore, I will be needing to arrive on a new idea. All right, so let's clean the chart and leave only the most important pieces of information, and let's go through the 15-minute analysis and let's see what we have. So on the 15-minute RTH chart, large range day yesterday, still in the middle of the range, didn't quite move much, so very similar condition to the London Open, especially as the buy side was taken. We see relative equal highs on the RTH perspective. So this is definitely an obvious pool of buy side liquidity. So far, there was a discount opening range gap, price sucked up into it, and now we are dealing inside of it. On the 1 minute RTH perspective, too obvious of a buy side, in my opinion, still. But yeah, obviously we'll see what we get. ETH perspective, buy side mentioned, pretty smooth still. Sell side was at least probed a little bit, absorbed a measure of a breaker here, low, high, lower low, price went above it, breaker. But yeah, still inside of, or very close to the 50% of this large range, which doesn't necessarily bode very well for anything obvious at this moment for me, especially after we already ran the buy side here. I was liking the buy side I was really liking the idea of price going up there, but it delivered during the opening range, 9:30 to 10 a.m. So that's not a viable idea anymore. All right, all right, all right, all right. Trying to figure this out a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be very easy to do. All right, Nasdaq at the same time it also went lower, took some sell side, typical lows made jagged, price went aggressively higher, breaker, trade into the breaker, rallied, still typical highs, buy side is residing up there. So Nasdaq looks somewhat interesting in that regard. And overall, I like this basically that I like this inversion for buy gap here to see price draw up into it. Okay. So yeah, on the first side, Nasdaq looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit more pristine for potential continuation towards the buy side liquidity here. So yeah, that is something to watch. That's the bullish breaker, price trade into it, then rallied. So from this low to this high, that's an impulse price swing that I can measure. I can drop to the lower time frame, like 1 minute here too. And yeah, I mean, near term, I would assume that this is the draw on liquidity. For the 10 to 11, I would still think or expect that the price could reasonably reach up into it. But yeah, we'll need to see. We'll need to see because already we've seen buy side taken 1, 2, 3, 4 times buy side, buy side, buy side, buy side, not yet reached up there. So that would rather require some speed and displacement in the upside delivery, I suppose. But yeah, we'll see. Zero views. That's great. Looks like I lost the trust of a viewer after I lost the electricity during the London Open session. Fair enough. Fair enough. I get it. Completely understandable. But now, to be completely honest, I'm just chilling. I'm not in a rush to do anything. 2 minutes ahead of the 10 a.m. And as I said, I do favor buy side here on Nasdaq. It looks quite reasonable as an expectation potentially. Well, that was smooth, Harry. That was very smooth. I appreciate that. Thanks. All right, all right, all right, all right. 30 seconds until the 10 to 11. We still have a little bit left to run the buy side and into this inefficiency. So there is some measure of a range of opportunity that is being presented in my mind. I'm watching this as a potential inversion. If we could close above it, then a potential run higher off of it should be, or could be, rather, I should say, could be reasonable, right? Checking the Nasdaq and ES for potential SMT or anything like that. Note the ES did close above this inversion here. I mean this CB. Nasdaq didn't or hasn't done it yet. So that's quite interesting. This CB is still a potential draw on the ES2 and the buy side. So both, I would say both are more prompt to potentially reach higher than lower at this moment. But yeah. All right, 10 a.m. started. 10 a.m. started, and let's see what we'll get. If we get some bullish sensitivity, bullish ideas, then I think ultimately we can aim for this as a draw on liquidity here, which still that's quite a lot of range. Let's be honest. I mean the volatility here is pretty off the charts. Like from the 9:30 alone, the first 30 minutes moved almost 400 handles. That's a lot of range. That's a lot of range. All right. So yeah, so far we have this bearish fair gap here on Nasdaq that was traded up into it, and now price attacked the short-term low here. Great. Into this 943 BC. My interest is whether we could go above this bearish fair value gap and use it as bullish inversion fair value gap to send the price potentially higher with the idea that I'm trying to paint. How would that look like in terms of potential entry? If we close above it, I would like to use this and like one handle below this candle's low as my stop loss. Obviously that's quite a bit with this size. The draw would be around here up to consecutive encroachment to reasonable. So let's see if that will even match my risk parameters, but definitely I need to use a smaller quantity. Even 3 is too much. 2 is even too much. Like one micro is all I can get with this type of stop loss for the leverage. And 1 to 2 would be here, which isn't necessarily that's not matching my my cup of tea. So I would need to reduce the stop loss lower. Something like this would be more reasonable, still allowing for some wiggle waggle below it, but clearly tighter stop, which is, you know, on with this volatility, that's still 75 handles of a stop loss. That's a large stop loss in terms of handles, nonetheless. But yeah, adjusting to the current volatility, that's like an idea that I would consider, to say the least, right? I'm not saying this is a trade that I will take right now, But just thinking in terms of what's potentially possible. ES went above this inversion for value gap already, and it has a little bit of room on the upside to 22 handles. So let's see, maybe ES is better call here. Buying it here with stop loss at least 10, aim for 20. All right. No rush, just trying to prepare something special. Let's see, 5. Yeah, 5 would be around right, and take profit around here. All right, let's see. It filled me here on this inversion for value gap. And yeah, now finger crossed. This is bullish inversion for value gap. This is the draw on liquidity ultimately, where I think ES is gonna go in line with higher draw on Nasdaq too. And using this 950 bearish for value gap as a bullish inversion for value gap to send it higher. Risk 250, potential profit 500. And yeah, we'll see if we can squeeze the lemon juice out of it here. Let me frame the potential for my break-even point. Not this. So it would be, my break-even is roughly here. So let's point it out. Okay. So break even. So if we can approach this purple line here, or very close to it, then I would be comfortable moving my stop loss to break even and just letting it go, whatever it wants to do. So let's see. Let's see what we can get. We already traded into it here. We close above it. Good. Then we went below it. It failed to offer any resistance. Good. Then we went back into it, and now it's offering some support. Very good. So it should really quickly attack the buy side here, because also we are in a very close proximity to it. So if I'm correct, it should be rather quick one. I assume it shouldn't spend much time here if it's going somewhere. All right. All right, let's see if we can see a measure of expansion here. The volatility is large, so if it's good, it should be good, right? Stretching above this daily volume imbalance, very close to the break-even price. So let's see if we can actually reach up into it or very close to it, then I move my stop loss to even, and then whatever happens, happens, I assume. So yeah, it's very key to see like a measure of stronger push through, because we've taken the buy side on the short term basis very, very like many times in a row, which really requires a measure of follow through, because otherwise it can become problematic very quickly. But yeah, sticking to the idea, let's see if it delivers. I mean, at this point, preferably, I would not like to come back to this inversion for value gap. I don't think it's necessary by any means. At this point, it should just keep stretching higher. So yeah, let's see. All right, now a larger candle to the upside would be lovely, allowing for expansion and a more pronounced run above this high. That was just a shallow run above this one. All right, I mean, it went very, very close to this break-even price. Like less than one handle, and I was eyeballing it, so I will move the stop loss to break even here. Mainly because we already made so many higher highs, like very small little shallow runs on the buy side, that to me, I mean, this is meeting the criterium already. That if it goes against me to the entry price, it's probably not as good. So yeah, I assume that's a fair deal here. Nice reaction of the consecutive encroachment of the volume balance. Now definitely touching the break-even price, so whatever. Break-even would be there anyway. And let's see if we can attack the buy side. It should do it. And it should do it quickly. All right, this strong of a rejection after another slightly higher high is very, very suspect, but regardless, whatever happens, happens. This position is already risk-free. I would say it's quite it's quite possible that I will get stopped out on break even, definitely. But even if that happens, then there's really not much I could do about this price action here, and I will just accept that if that's the case, and it is the case. So fair enough. This is the first time I move my stop loss to break even after reaching 75% of the trade, and then price actually coming back to my entry price and stopping me out. But yeah, the volatility is quite large. Therefore, I completely get it. Will that still deliver, or can it still deliver to the buy side? Technically, or theoretically, yes. I mean, it would need to react here strongly, and if that's the case, then this idea could still possibly develop, right? But if not, my stop loss was around here, I assume, or very close to it. So I can also study whether I took a full loss after being in a well positioned entry, or I got stop break even, but it still will deliver to the buy side. So yeah, that's something that I will be watching right now. But yeah, admittedly, due to the high volatility and relatively tight or small type of trade, yeah, it got me there. Completely understandable, but still, I wouldn't say that it's impossible for the price to manage to go higher, right? But yeah, this is a break even. So yeah, I mean, the fact that we made so many higher highs on a short-term basis here and no follow-through is very suspect. The fact that they dropped like this into this inversion for Y gap, I guess, or I assume that it still could deliver. It still technically could deliver in my mind, but this is like the last chance for it. Is this like very high probability? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say so, but we'll see, right? We'll see nonetheless. This red line is where my stop loss was around or thereabouts. Therefore, if price goes there first, then I will consider this break even as the best case scenario. If it does deliver higher above this blue line, then great. I mean, I was like safe. That was like the safest option, but apparently the idea was still holding very strong. Whatever happens, but yeah, nice session nonetheless, taking into consideration how technically difficult these conditions are. But yeah, I still stay true with the idea that it should deliver higher. But if I'm proven otherwise, then obviously I'm already not risking anything, right? But for my experience, for my gut, I would still expect this as a viable idea. But one trade per day, win or loss, it is what it is. Yeah, it really looks like it's prompt to make that run, but at the same time, it really becomes like messy in this area, very messy, and a little bit decoupled. I mean, a little bit unsymmetrical with the Nasdaq, which is a little bit concerning. But yeah, still watching whether it delivers. Simon, don't be negative. That's the only advice that I can give you. Just don't try to not be negative about your shortcomings. This is the golden rule. Try to look for positives. I would have used 64 stop loss, but there was no trade in the first place, in my opinion. I have been following quietly. Do I look in a hurry? I mean, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't. I don't think I was in a hurry today. I'm just following the rules. That's all. I used my fair value gap as an entry means. I had my target. I had my break-even price. So yeah, I follow the rules. If it delivers still after stopping me out at break-even, then that's life. I mean, nothing I can do about it, and nothing you can do about it either. So that's just the way it goes. If it goes and rolls over lower and goes and drops, then I just made the best decision I could make, right? But regardless of what happens, I'm managing the risk and I'm responsible for it, whether it's a win or loss or break even. But yeah, the idea didn't really change much. It didn't really change. It went to the entry price one more time. Fair enough. Large volatility, reasonable, but it didn't really change. So if it goes there above this blue line, I would have probably gotten the take profit if didn't moved the stop loss to break even after 75%. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it will be like this. Sometimes it will go the other direction, and you would regret not doing so. So yeah, perfectly fine with that. So yeah, my take profit was slightly above this line. It was like 403 roughly, but looks like it's going there nonetheless. Yeah, so that was my idea. That was my idea. It technically delivered, so that's awesome. There we go. That would definitely hit my take profit here. Yeah, I didn't. I was not allowed for participation in the end after it came back to the entry price, but yeah, I mean that's life. Nothing I can do about it. The worst thing I could make would be to just be upset about it. No. That's great. It delivered. I indicated the proper draw, proper bias, proper PDRA. Everything was proper. The fact that it came back to stop me at break even after 75%, that's life. Why that was reasonable, I think, because look how many times price went higher on a very small basis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times at least. Little digging higher and higher and higher. So this type of slightly deeper retracement was definitely in the cards. But yeah, I mean, the volatility is huge also. So yeah, I just follow the rules. That's fine. I'll be back tomorrow nonetheless with another idea. So, well, I mean, I think I need to add the break-even stat to the scoreboard, right? So that I can track that too. This is, by the way, the first break-even trade during this whole endeavor. But yeah, definitely. All right, something like this. All right, that's I guess like a fair tracking. So 8 wins, 11 losses, 1 break even, according to this rules and to this model that I'm utilizing. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. 1 trade a day, keeping and sticking to that very well. All right. Pretty strong rejection here already. Pretty strong rejection here. Yeah, I mean that's actually like interesting here, interesting idea here, because I was like roughly eyeballing the 75%, and unless I was definitely like very close to it, like very close to it. But if I went like very like strict about it, then probably price fell short like 1 or 2 ticks off of that. But yeah, I mean, still, it doesn't really change anything, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, definitely as a little scalp, that was quite reasonable, quite doable. But overall, this is not an easy market condition by any means, and this is not an easy session by any means, in my opinion. It won't be. It just won't be. Maybe the PM session will settle a little bit more, but this is rather rather difficult. Mainly because it delivered this price run here in the opening range, and it basically covered all the targets that I was looking for after 10 a.m., but it happened ahead of it. Therefore, I was kind of like forced, in a sense, to either use this last bit of the business as the idea, which was completely fine, or just do nothing, right? I decided that ES was cleaner versus Nasdaq, and it was. It definitely was, to deliver that run on the buy side, and it did deliver the run on the buy side. But yeah, because or do the small range and deep retracement here, it got me out on the break even. But after it reached the buy side, or after it would hit my take profit here, it would then drop aggressively lower, which would definitely not be optimal. So if I don't know, for some reason would not get filled or be a little bit higher than this, then that would be break even anyway too. So very close margins, for this session. But yeah, reasonable, I guess. I guess. All right, let's see the MNQ shortly. So MNQ, I was thinking that this is the drawn liquidity, so it's still open. It still wasn't reached yet. The buy side was traded up into there, retracement down into this inversion for value gap here. So I'm watching whether it can make a follow through run above this short term high and into this drawn liquidity. If it can, that's just like a moral victory in defining the proper draw. In terms of engagement on Nasdaq itself, it was kind of sloppy around the inversion here. Yes, it delivered. It made a little bit of a mojo. Let me clone this. So yeah, in that regard, I would say a stop loss below one standard deviation of this inversion for value gap would be like at least, right? The least you could allow yourself to go with. That wouldn't be stopped out, clearly, here. So this plus like a little bit would be, I guess, reasonable instead of using stop loss way down here. But yeah, very nice delivery here from this inversion towards the draw. Almost there, like not quite touching the inversion for value gap, but very close to it. So let's see if we can actually tap into that level, and if we can, then I'll be completely content for the morning session here. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I guess for this session, don't require like too much of a precision, I believe. But yeah, I would still look for the price to trade up into this inversion for value gap. If it does, I'm completely content. If that's all we can get, that's still close or good enough, I would say. But yeah, that little each seeking the perfect touch is there, but nonetheless, as for the conditions today, that would be like reasonable, I would say. Well, that's quite deep of a retracement here, but yeah, still watching this bullish inversion for value gap. How it does, how it will do. SMT on the highs, ES failed to make a higher high, Nasdaq did, made a higher high, but that's a very subtle, gentle difference in here. Again, I don't think this session is like prompt to do like incredibly clean price runs and be very obvious and easy. Therefore, expecting some shenanigans is quite reasonable, to say the least. There is a small little bearish fair value gap in here that could become a lovely bullish inversion in my mind to send it up into the draw potentially. Well, I mean, I can only encourage you, Simon. I can only encourage you to do it because I believe you can. I mean, I know you can stick to it, but yeah, the rest will be just accepting the boring work or the lack of immediate results, right? But yeah, this is just my approach. Not saying it's the only viable. I like how price went above this little fair value gap here on a closing basis, and I would like to see a touch to it like this, and now quick response to the upside into the draw here. That would be what I would look for with this little fair value gap. All right. By the way, quick check of the calendar for this week. Tomorrow we have PPI at 8:30, and Friday we have 10 a.m. medium impact news for the remainder of this week. So there might still be some moves coming. I like how we trade down into this inversion and close above it. I like that a lot. Let's see if we can bulk up some strength and reach higher off of that. That would be interesting. Right, smashing right on through it. Yeah, not ideal. And this inversion, the lower inversion is in play. If that's the case, unless we snap quickly above it, that would be like the last chance. But again, this price action here isn't necessarily a very high probability by definition, I would say. And yeah, I mean, assuming that the profile for this session was like low probability, and seeing how it delivered so far, the majority of the session, it really lines well with that expectation, right? If I had high expectation of price delivering very clean price runs and be met with this type of mess, like not complete mess, but rather sloppier, more unorganized price action, then I would be a little bit frustrated, not gonna lie. But yeah, thanks God, I got a right expectation for this, and that's like fair enough, right? So back to the original bullish inversion for value gap, snapping below this low here, short-term sales liquidity. ES closing below it here, failing and seeking the near-term sell side ratifical lows. right there. All right, Nasdaq also showing some failure here to offer any upside continuation at this moment. Doesn't mean it can't go still up there. It just means we are likely to maintain some sloppier price action near term, I suppose. But yeah, I think like that's all I wanted to see for now. No reason to waste energy on something that I will not engage anyway. So yeah, that's let me go back to yes, that was the business for today. A break-even trade that could have been potentially a winner, but it turned out into a break-even, which is completely fine. It is what it is. I'll be back tomorrow, London Open. So see you guys there.